Okay, so we're back with this Neo Geo MV4F board. Just put in the jumpers. I did a lot of work off camera, but got the board back together, and kind of like I thought, the board is running great. I've had it running for probably 2 days. Kind of troubleshooting some other stuff before I started filming again, and plus I'll show you guys what I did. Just cleaning up my bench here. I modified my JAMA harness, and I built a little controller test box. So this will do up, down, left, right, A, B, C, D, and this is kind of why I had to take time and just stop and build a decent controller, because now we have the Unibus 4.0 and the Neo Geo hardware test, its own self-test, and I wasn't able to navigate the menu with my old controller system, and I don't like, grounding out the pins when I really don't have to. And so I built a nice harness. I got player 1, player 2, and all the controls in one cable connected right to the harness. And I also built a audio jack for my harness. And what's cool about both of these guys is I put a switch in here for Neo Geo and regular JAMA pinout, because the test switch is on a different pin, and also the MV4F and a couple other Neo Geo boards have stereo sound. So your pin 11 or 10 and L, your audio jacks, your audio inputs on your JAMA are a little bit different for the audio. These two right here. On the regular JAMA, it's speaker positive and negative off of L, where L is also left speaker on the Neo Geo. So Neo Geo has stereo sound. So you have two speakers, two separate audio positive outputs, and then the ground for the speakers are just taken from the ground on the JAMA. So with my configuration, with the flip of the switch, I can go JAMA or Neo Geo, and same with the audio jack. The JAMA input is here, Neo Geo right and left, and three-way selector switch to switch appropriately. So, and this is also gives you a nice place to grab on with your scope. So that's a really nice feature that I wanted. I don't have time to be fiddling around, and I don't have a big bench. So, but anyway, let's get back to this guy. The game is running great, so I can show you. I've got 2 cartridges loaded up and just testing the fix. This is the Neo Geo select cart button. You actually have a Neo Geo up and down, but I only had room for just up. So Neo Geo select up. Right now we got Sonic 3 Wings. Plays great. We'll go back to Sonic Wings 3. And everything's working pretty good. Coin up. Oh. Why is that switching games? That's crazy. Start. Oh, maybe I was pushing the wrong button. But anyway, all the controls work. Not going to go into too much brake testing right now. So let's look at what we got. So I hooked it up, and there is no audio on this guy at all. So right now I got the scope out. We're connected up. Right now we're about 200 millivolts and 200 millivolts per division on our amplitude, and our frequency. What are we down to? 5 milliseconds. So that's a pretty dead signal there. Pretty low voltage. If we had normal voltage, it would be all over the place. But the thing to notice here before we get into troubleshooting is that when I watch the image, when I watch the splash screen, the attract mode, there is sound here just very little, very low voltage. And if I can, without disturbing the camera too much or zooming out too far, we could watch kind of what's going on screen. I don't know if it's gonna, I'll be able to catch this. And we can watch along with the audio. And then when there's moments, I'm gonna cycle. I'm gonna power cycle, because we can see moments of no sound. Yeah, see, we're already getting the Z80 error. We'll get to that in a minute. Use continue. We'll just let it boot, and we can see like on the Neo Geo boot, just barely cut off there at the end. Now we're getting the Neo Geo jingle. We're getting some audio, just nothing audible. So it tells me maybe, hopefully, all the digital to analog signals are there. So, and maybe it's just, I'm hoping a capacitor, or like maybe just an op amp. Because if we're seeing, the point is, if we're seeing just minute signals there, so the board is generating sound. And I can't show you now. We're going to tear this thing apart, and we'll follow along in the circuitry. But I think the digital part, the digital signals are there from the CPU and the RAM, making it to the Yamaha sound chip, into the DAC, the digital analog converter, and I think that's where our problems start. So I wanted to show you guys after the fix of the broken traces, running great. So let's go ahead. I'm going to pause. And, well, I don't know. I'm not going to pause. Let's take this thing apart and we'll get right to it here. Let me get the camera kind of situated. And we're going to power down. And just maybe somebody wants to know how to take these boards apart, kind of see how that whole business works. And get the camera kind of in a good spot for now. So we're going to go ahead and power down. Of course, let's just power down. Now let's remove the cartridges. I'm just going to remove these guys just like a normal cartridge. And you always want to be careful pulling and pushing on things. We don't have any of the fastening hardware in, so the board set's actually in a pretty fragile state. Can be flexed upon easily and all that good stuff. So I'm just going to take apart this the JAMA here. So we have 3 connectors, inner board connectors, 1, 2, 3. So we're just going to get in here and just gently pop these up. You know, these boards, even if they're in good shape, they still are old. You don't want to overflex your boards. Sorry about that. I had to safely store that board in there on the shelf. So, okay. So this is the board in question. Okay, so this is, and I kind of reviewed some of my last video, and I wanted to come in here and show you that those jumpers I put in a little bit better, because I realized the footage was pretty crappy. So let's start with our fix here. Here, okay, and maybe I can get in. So there's the patch. There's the patch that fixed the boot issue. Had 2 broken traces. A chip enable. One of those is for a chip enable trace that's broken, and data address bit 6. Anyway, let's get back. Now I want to talk a little bit about the sound circuitry here. Again, fiddling with the tripod, but I'm trying to make a good video for you guys. And there's lots of good information out on the internet for the Neo Geo stuff. But, you know, it's all not in one place. You really have to dig and piece things together. Okay, so let me get a pointer. Totally prepared for you guys. All right. So this is our digital section here. This is our audio not digital section. This is our audio section here on the MV4F. And we have our digital analog converter, and we have some op amps and some our main amp. And we have about, there's like almost 30 caps in this section. I think like 25 or 28. So one thing to note, when I started troubleshooting, I was using my finger, just like how we found the RAM. I kind of was pushing on these a little bit, and the screen was going dark. And the screen was kind of coming and going a little bit. And my theory is maybe some of these caps or some of these circuits are not good, don't have good inductance or continuity even, and is sending bad data like in between the digital analog section. This is your Yamaha sound chip right here, your YM2810, our Yamaha. And then we have, oh gosh darn it, this is your sound ROM, one of your sound program ROMs, and these actually communicate with the sound ROMs on your Neo Geo cart. So if you have a test sound test ROM for your cart, you can actually utilize a onboard testing system. Anyway, but this is the Z80 here, and some things I'm going to talk about and point out. So this is the Z80, and it's a Z80 84004. Don't quote me on the megahertz speed, the processing speed, but the point I want to make here, this chip is spec'd out to be a Z80A, which has a slightly faster processing speed, I think, than the regular Z80s. So the story goes that MVS or SNK, they had a shortage of those, and they put regular Z80s in. And this particular circuit is quite intensive, I guess, and these chips struggle or worked hard, overworked, and are known to go bad if these are not Z80As. I probed around on this all the way up to there's a custom up here, the D0, and there's a lot of interfacing going on here. Like this is where inner CPU communication happens from the Z80 all the way back. So this could cause a long chain of failures all the way down the chain. So we're already getting a Z80 error, which could mean a couple things. But I did probe around on this. There's a lot of dead lines here. But after looking at it on the scope and kind of seeing that there are signals kind of carried down through here, that maybe that this is actually okay. And our problems down here with the capacitors I was feeling around on and making the screen twitchy. I think the first thing that we're going to do, I have a cap kit ready actually. So we're going to go ahead and replace the electrolytics in this one. And I don't know if it's overkill, it can't hurt. Some of the capacitors around the op amps I heard are known to kind of go bad and cause Z80 failures. I have a Z80A on the way, so I can't really change that out right now, and I really don't want to until I get new capacitors in here. We'll see what's going on the scope and with the sound, and then we'll go from there. And then we'll get into some pretty heavy probing around. But from what I can say at this point, I have probed around the sound RAM. Is actually, it looks okay. No smoking guns here. All the data lines, control lines look good there. For the most part. There's a lot of dead signals here, but it may be just bad signals coming from our analog circuits, and it might be just not happy with what it's seeing there. So okay, let's get to it. Let's get to it. I'm going to start the recap kit. Okay, so I've got the board flipped over, and I went ahead and marked, just with the red Sharpie, all the capacitor locations from the bottom, so we kind of work on them from here. Now, I don't have my desolder gun, actually. It's actually at the shop, back at the manufacturer, Goot. They're really treating me good. Had maybe some bad parts from the factory on it, so we're gonna go out this old school with the solder sucker, and I gotta have some solder wick. Maybe we'll do a few different ways. We'll see which way works best with this board. Like I've said in my other videos, every board has like different heat tolerances and stuff. So, but anyway, I've got my desolder gun right over here. I'm going to try to not move the board around. We can kind of see together what I'm going to do. Like I'm just right at the moment, really just going to kind of put some heat on here. The secret to getting these caps off good is you really need good heat. It needs to be hot all the way through to the part side, or the part's not going to come out. These should be pretty simple actually, but sometimes I like to get in here first and just get some heat on it. And I've got my solder right here. This solder's pretty clean. I hope I shouldn't have to add too much. And I like to get these guys started coming up, just get them kind of straight a little bit. I think what we're going to end up doing is just heating these up and pulling them out, but I wanted to show you guys close up. Just you can take your time, like these guys that are bent. You could take the time, go around and get them up like that. Then let's see if they clean out or not. Let me get this thing nice and hot, and boop. Ooh, I think it got it. Actually, let's do the same with this guy. And let it get all nice and hot. Give it a nice suck there. How's that look on camera? Oh yeah. So I'm just gonna lift that guy up and see how loose that guy really is or isn't. Nah, he's not really. I'm gonna back that off so you can see. So I think what we're gonna do, I think we're just gonna go through, maybe try to suck out what we can and heat each pad. I have a hold of the capacitor on the other side. This is where you need a good gun, to be honest. This little guy, he's going to struggle to get through that heat plane or the thickness of the Neo Geo board. And you want to take your time on this. There we go. You want to take your time on this. And there she is. So that's one way you can go about it. I'm going to try to save these guys so we can test them later. Let me get you zoomed back in, and then maybe we'll try a different method. Just kind of having fun today. I like people to kind of learn, and let's go after, yeah, see, that solder sucker did okay. 2 clean holes. So let's go after the one right above it, but let's try solder wick with that. Yeah, I'm going to make it all blurry for a second, but let's try solder wick, because that's, how a lot of technicians, who can't afford stuff, high-end equipment, this is the tried and true, the old school method. See how it melted down the solder. It's the secret, or the problem, not a secret, but if it don't get all of it, and then you kind of risk. Yeah, see, it didn't get all of it. Kind of melted down in there. Sometimes it'll suck it up, and sometimes it won't. But we're gonna just give it a shot. And this, by taking your time and doing this kind of work before ahead of time. I look at that one, super clean, super clean. Yeah, you have to get the feel of the board. There's no one method combination. You want to be able to have a lot of tricks in your bag. Let's add we're going to add a little bit more solder there. We're going to get him again. I bet he comes clean. I bet he comes clean. Let's get him. Yep, look at that. I might just use solder wick today. Look how nice that is. Oops, I have my little pliers here. And what you do after you go and clear your hole, you can still see. I don't know if you guys can see. You kind of see.
Try not to move it. There's just a little bit stuck here. You can take your flat electronics pliers. Well, he's stuck on. Now there's still a little bit of solder there. You could just probably wiggle that thing, probably just break it out of there. But I want to show you guys just how to be careful with your boards. What you do, like there is quite a bit of solder on that guy. Now you got the holes clear. It's pretty easy. You just have to push on it a little. Not push hard, you'll scratch your board. I think he's free. And I just have it just pushing with the flat part of that. And when it gets hot enough, it'll break loose from the side. Ooh. Yeah, there, I felt it like a little click. Yep, there we go. Let me reach under there and probably grab him right out. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yep, grabbed him right out. And there we go. Now I hope that's just, let's see, like a little, I don't know if we just tore the trace on that or if it's just dirty. Let's clean that off. I want to show you guys how, I want to show you guys this. Let's clean that up. Yeah, we might have, no, we didn't hurt that through hole. It's just dirty. Clean that up. See it, like from my magnifying glass it looks like that could be broken, but it's not. But there we go. That's today's method. Let's do a couple more together. Why not? Let's get over here. Let's do, is it this first one? I'm trying to follow along on the camera here. This guy? That guy. Let's do this guy. And let's, now that we're kind of getting the feel of the board, let's see if adding a little bit of clean solder kind of break him loose a little bit. That pin. Or these pins, or legs, I should call them. Now let's actually give him a solder suck and see how he does. Yeah, you want to get the right amount of heat. You don't want to break traces on these guys, I can tell you that. Yeah, I don't think it got it. I don't think it got it all. I think it got more on that one. Yeah, let's look at it. No, it did not. That hole is still half full of solder. So, yeah, these in my little gun, these boards really take some good heat, and you have to get that solder hot all the way through to the part side. And if you get rough with it, you're gonna break a trace. And actually doing this multiple attempts is also just as risky, because then you risk damaging the through hole contact on this side. So you really have to be careful no matter what you do. But with some new solder in there, let's see if these guys desolder or solder together. Nah. Nope. Nope, not going to get it. So I'm going to zoom out. These are just capacitors. I'm not too awful worried about doing each one of these super precisely. I think we're gonna work on heat. Get that. I think I'm just gonna reach through, heat those up, and pull them out. Let's try a couple like that. Don't need to be super duper. We always need to be super duper careful, but let's
So I got a hold of, I have a hold of that capacitor. Why is that doing that? The camera got all weird. Okay, anyway, I got a hold of the capacitor. We're just going to heat this up, and we're going to pull one leg at a time. You'll feel it when it gets loose, when it gets molten. Should be able to pull that guy right through, or go half and half with it. And yeah, this solder gun may not have the heat to get through that. And there it goes. Ooh, yeah, that guy just took a little bit. All right, let's get this guy heated up. I'm just gonna kind of wiggle him. Start feeling or seeing that leg move, then I know we're good. Jeez, that dude is in there. Holy moly. There we go. Yeah, he's in there. My little gun is gonna struggle with this. So let's clean him up and see how he looks. I'll get you in there and show you what he looks like. Oh my God, why is it? My camera is just totally glitching out. I may not be able to film a lot today. We're going to come in, just be safe, just add a little bit of solder here. Maybe we can suck it out dry now. Nope. Just not hot enough to do the job. I got it that time. I'm just not getting on it well enough. Usually if you get in a rhythm, it goes much better. Trying to film and do this stuff gets a little bit tough. You got camera and stuff in the way. If you're not set up real well. We're gonna try him one more time, and then we'll try something else. Ooh. Good Lord, come on. Shaky or something. Just get it, man. Missed it again. Jeez, oh Pete, what is going on? Yeah, some days you have good days, some days you have bad days. Let's see. There we go. Jeez. Okay, we're gonna not put too much heat on that. So I'm gonna get busy here. I'm gonna get this camera out of my way, and we'll come back. Okay, we're back on the Neo Geo board. We have all the old capacitors out. All the old capacitors are out. There's the replacements. And for failure, I want to talk about these 470 microfarad. I don't know the voltage, 16 or 25 volts. 16 volt ones. Every one of these are bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every single one of those are bad. Only had less than 50 microfarads, and just to make sure my meter wasn't lying, I measured all the good ones, and those measure right at 470 microfarads. So physically they look fine. Even the vented side looks fine. Never know physically by looking at those guys. I was surprised I didn't find any bad 4.7 microfarads. Everything else was good, at least measured well. So the board is clean. I got them out. What I ended up doing, I just ended up using solder wick. I know we got off to a rough start, but that's kind of how it goes. But solder wick, some IPA really got in there. Cleaned, got all the holes very clean. Did not damage anything. We're gonna flip. We're gonna flip. I guess we can go that way. And on this side, while the through holes are very clean, I guess we did get into, I think, one of those rings there. And I think a couple of those rings did try to bend up. Just a couple, not too many. But everything's clean, no shorts. They all still beep out. Oh, yep, we're missing half a ring there. Those negatives, anything on this, there's a negative plane here, I think. And anything on those, they took a lot of heat to get out. So the little Heiko there is working pretty hard. So you just got to do the best with what you have. But I'm pretty happy with that. Nothing the end of the world. That'll super clean. They'll solder up great. The whole section's clean. We'll see if this makes any difference. Get that back together with those 470 microfarad ones, and then we'll do a power on. Yep, and then we'll power up and see what we have for audio. See if that changed that signal anymore. And then if not, we'll continue the troubleshooting. I'll show you guys. While I was here and cleaning and capping, there's actually, I think, some filter caps here on the other side. Where's the one? Right here was the capacitor. I went ahead and got him. We'll put him in. And then I started the cleanup on the battery section. And I'd say we got pretty lucky. I mean, that you can see I have it scraped off. So I hit all the spots that actually had corrosion, and some of those are pretty deep. Some of those are pretty deep. That's not solder in that hole. That's a divot. And that's a corrosion crater. Corrosion crater. And kind of got it scraped. I don't know what I'm going to do. I might depopulate that, sand the whole area, and just put it back. And maybe that's a glare. And I was checking out these traces here. Just going to make sure those are really clean. I mean, but those are worse than the break I actually found. But they're working. All of these have continuity. They sure do. But we got lucky. The battery acid damages us right here, and it's something to note. I mean, call it just a little, not too much corrosion. It was already spreading up onto this IC, obviously on those traces. Luckily, the ICs on this side, really didn't get anything, and this connector didn't get anything. But it shows you how little it takes to start that acid to start running. So we'll have to get in there and clean that up. But for testing, I think we'll be okay. Okay, let's start getting this thing populated, and we'll get that section soldered back together. Okay, so I have a few caps in place. These are the 4.7. There's 4 of them here. I'm going to just solder a few of these together with you. I'm going to show you how I'm doing it. Then I'm going to probably cut and get to the rest of them off camera. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to do one leg. Then I'm going to check them and make sure they're straight, and then I'll solder the other side. So get these guys going. Whoop. So I do have those the legs kind of sprung right now and pretty well lined up on the other side. So we'll just do one leg. There's 4 capacitors here.
go. I don't know how well that will turn out, but we'll look at that later. Yo, I will be getting a new camera soon, guys. My poor little phone here, I think she's reached the end of her life somehow with taking good close-up videos. But we used it for a long time. Let's see, where are we? Oh, we're right here. So basically, I'm just going to check each way. I want to make sure these are nice and straight. I'll zoom out there so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm just looking down them. I'm getting these guys bent. Since we only bent one leg, now you can really align them well. I just look down both ways. Yep, look down both ways. Make sure those guys are straight. Then when you solder the other side, the other legs in, they're nice and straight both ways. Okay, let's flip that dude over and get those. Yeah, it just kind of depends on the board I'm doing, like depending on how I'm doing them. Let's see, yeah, right here. Get zoomed in. You guys are going to be able to see better than me at the moment trying to solder this without my lens. Okay, let's get those other two legs. You want to make sure you get it hot enough to flow to the other side. I like to get a little in there, let it melt, and finish it off. Oh, what did I do here? I think we got the outside ones here. Yeah, guys, this is going to be some of my last footage being blurry. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you learn a little bit. But we gotta get some better close-ups here. Oh, quit shaking. There we go. Whoop, whoop. I'm gonna hit him again. It's probably okay, but let's get a little bit more on him. Oh man, I'm moving it on you, ain't I? Okay. Just one more little bit. It's so hard right at the moment where I got the camera. Okay. I think we're just gonna do like that. And I'm gonna trim those up. Zoom out a little bit. Man, this is gonna be awful video, you guys. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you gotta figure something out here with your camera action. So anyway, we got those look really good. I don't know if I can zoom in. Just the whole problem here. Anyway, we're gonna go around. Yeah, that's just awful. Awful footage. I'm sorry, you guys. Oh boy. Yeah, there you go. There's a little bit of it. Got nice solders there. I'm gonna trim those, do the rest, and we'll be back. Okay, got all of the capacitors replaced. Kind of give you a shot of the bottom here. There's some up over here, some just awful footage today. I don't know. I think it's because it's just so dark in here. Okay, but the other side, carefully flip this guy over. Okay, here they are. Nice and straight, mostly. Yeah, these were the 470 ones that were bad, all right here. So I have to look at the schematics, if there are any, see maybe what caused them to go bad. Maybe the amp. I don't know. We'll see. So these were the bad guys right here, and the rest of this stuff was good, and they were good. It's pretty much spot on. Not a lot of deviation in the ones I took out. So. And then, of course, I got the one over here in the battery charging section, and this, just call it a filter cap for now, this guy here. So that's the
That's the capacitors put in. They look good. I double checked all my positives and negatives. I think we're going to put this board back together, kind of clean up, get this guy plugged in and see if there's any sound. Okay, so we got the new capacitors all installed, board sets all put back together, and indeed we are still failing the Z80 and there is no sound. So I thought I would show this before we break the board down and then get into this audio section. I was hopeful, but when those capacitors pretty much all passed except for the big 470 microfarad ones, I figured we're probably looking at a Z80 problem. So with that, I think we're going to break down this board and we'll get down to the audio circuit and start troubleshooting. Okay, so got the board disassembled here. I put in the original stock program, program ROM, because the Unibus will just skip the Z80 test as far as I understand. And I was kind of looking before I started this video. I thought there was a way, like I could hold something to bypass that to continue the rest of the built-in bit test or the rest of the hardware test. But I can't seem to find that, and honestly, it don't matter at this point. We know we got something going on with the in the audio section. So I'm going to take the phone. I'm going to take the phone out of the cradle here. Let's get in here down and dirty on the audio section, because maybe for some viewers to kind of help and motivate you guys, let's do a rundown. Now that I got some notes off to the side here about the audio section here. So we have the Z80, the LSPC2. So we have communication between the two CPUs to the sound section via the LSPC2 and the, where is it? The not the Neo in out, or the Neo D0. So processor, Neo D0, the Z80. Okay, then we get into the SM1. This is an embedded sound driver. This guy will allow you to do sound tests without a cartridge installed. Then we have our Yamaha 2610, which is the sound synthesizer. So this is where all the sounds are made. So I'm guessing like from it's a little bit warm. All the address bits, the digital address and data bits come in here. They make the sounds, and then the sounds are actually generated here, not amplified or anything. So let's get into the other components on this chip here without the glare. This 20, what is that guy? 2066. He has a dual headphone driver chip, so he's going to be the driver for the headphone output on the MV4. And I've seen some other stuff. They're saying, this is actually input. I don't really have schematics to prove that, but when I probe around, I'll prove that. Okay, and then we have 4558s, and these are dual high gain op amps. These three guys. And I think I misspoke earlier in the video. I was saying this was the DAC, and the DAC is actually this 3016 right here. This is your digital analog converter. So it's going to take your digital inputs and output them into an analog signal. Okay, so let's move on. This guy, I'm not sure is part of the audio circuit, but he's sitting pretty close. He's actually a high voltage Darlington transistor array. I'm not sure if this guy has anything to do with the audio circuit. Okay, so let's come up to the amp itself. It's a Hitachi 13001. So this is actually the amplifier for the circuit. Okay, so what I'm going to do what I'm going to do, probably off camera, guys, I'm sorry, the prints are so small. So I'm just going to start with the basics. I pulled these off the Neo Wiki, and this is for MV, like a one slot one. But the, crap, wow. But the important thing here is I'm going to go through, I'm pretty sure from the Z80, it has a lot of the same components, the Z80 to the Yamaha sound synthesizer, to the DAC, to some of these op amps. So the first thing I'm going to do is check for broken traces. I'm just going to come through and just beep out the address lines between the Z80 and the Yamaha and the program ROM, or the sound ROM, and the sound RAM, which I kind of missed in my walkthrough. The 6116 here is 2K by 8 RAM. So I'm going to just check for broken traces, just like we had, maybe like we had over where we did the other repair. If I can find it, yeah, right here. So we're going to go through, make sure don't have any broken traces or anything. Man, that guy is actually pretty darn warm. All three of these are. These two are kind of hot, the same temperature. I think the Yamaha is more hot. And like I already stated before, this is actually calling out for Z80A. And from what I read in other repair logs, that this will get overworked, not being a Z80A. And I think SNK did that because there's a shortage of the proper chips. And so let's get busy on that. I'm going to go off camera to do that because my prints are so small. I'm going to have to use my lens, use my trusty lens here. And then I also made up like a component cheat sheet. So while I'm buzzing out continuity, maybe even before, while we got it powered on, I'm just going to go through some of these chips powered on and see kind of what has signal and what doesn't. So I think we're going to get busy on that, and I will come back when I find something. Yeah, this is going to be a long video anyway. So yeah, basically continuity, make sure no broken traces, and we'll start looking for bad signals. And I think we're going to get to the problem pretty quick. So, okay guys, see you in a little bit here. Okay, we're back, and I think we made some getting to the bottom of this here. So, doing continuity checks, everything checked fine, and I have to admit I didn't check every one. I took a good sample. I checked a good lot of them, and this board is not exactly like these schematics, but this is a Neo Geo, and the circuits are pretty similar. So, looking at the Z80 here, and the Z80 here, and this thing is completely dead. There is no address. There are address activity, no data line activity, half clock, the reset is high, most of the control lines, the halt, the right, and everything like that kind of look good. So I'll show you the chain of events here. So we have our address and data, and pretty much dead. And so the RAM pretty much all, or not RAM, the sound program ROM pretty much dead, and the ROM pretty much dead, and all of the address and data bits to the sound synthesizer, to the Yamaha are dead. So kind of looking at this now, the Neo Geo custom chip on the schematics for this one is Neo 00, but I'm pretty sure for this board it's the Neo D0. So what's happening is the address lines actually go up here to these multi-directional buffers, the 245s, and they kind of feed back down here. And I did probe around on this guy, so you know, if no address lines are coming out of the buffers into the Neo 0, it's not going to have anything to buffer. And then these refeed back down into the circuitry for data and stuff like that. So I did pull up the Neo Zero here on the MV4F. I think what's happening here, all the inputs pretty much dead. Now I do have data on here, but all the addressing is dead. The inputs, nothing on the inputs, nothing on the inputs. So I think what's happening, then this thing can't work. So we're gonna have nothing on the outputs. Same with the sound. All these inputs, there's nothing there. So I think the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna swap this. We're gonna extract this Z80. We're gonna socket it and get a Z80A in there, and then we'll see what it looks like. And I'm sorry I didn't show a lot on the scope. It's nothing too exciting. You know, just your basic checks: have signal, no signal. Pretty basic. So I didn't take the time to show that. I'm sorry. I just kind of working my way around. And I did come down here and I did probe around some of these op amps and the DAC and the amp. My guess, I'm just gonna make a guess now. I think everything down here is good. I think the DAC, the op amps, and this amp I probed, I have voltage. Everything has signal. There's just nothing being fed into it. So further upstream, I think we're gonna go after that Z80 and see what happens. The sound program ROM looked good. This guy looked good. As far as functionality, there's no signals there, but there was nothing high, nothing stuck low, no floaters. I did get a couple signals with some weird voltage, but you know, in a dead circuit, that could be very possible until it has full bits, full capability. So she's running at full steam, Captain. So yeah, let's get that guy extracted, and we'll get back here and see what happens. Okay, there is the new 40-pin socket soldered in. Looks awesome. Yep, looks great. No damaged anything. So let's flip this guy around, and I did use a machined socket. I don't normally, but I had it, and I figure it's a dedicated use for Z80, so why not? Well, my friend Steve, he likes those, and I like the dual wipe, but I figured for this Z80, we'll use that. And actually, they're right here. So, got a couple Z80As from China. Let's see if it makes a difference on this repair. All right, so I'm just gonna put this board back together. We'll come back when the board's together and we're ready to do a sound test. Okay, guys, I think we're ready to wrap up this video. We're getting kind of to the end. So I did just have all 4 cartridges in and selecting around and scrolling through the games. The select works fine. The Z80 has fixed the sound. So I wanted to go through, we did the battery mod. So one of the last things we want to check is see if the battery is saving, see if that battery mod is actually holding up. So so I got my handy dandy homemade controller here. So let's just exit, and we are running the UniBIOS 4.0. So let's just I'm going to show you guys a little bit how this works. I think I'm going to make a separate video, but from the game menu, in-game menu, we can push test to go into the, I guess it would be called the test mode. This test mode. This is the built-in test mode without the UniBIOS. This is the normal test mode if you don't have UniBIOS. I think this is a little bit enhanced, but let's exit back out. Oop. Yeah, let's exit back out, and I'll show you how to go into the universal BIOS. Actually, I think on that screen you can. But we're going to hold A, B, and C and reboot. So let's reboot. Bam. Bam. And we're going to hold A, B, and C. And we should get to the Universal BIOS 4.0. So just, I wanted to show you guys, because I think I did film this earlier, about the sound. So the jukebox player did not work with the bad Z80. So it could be another good way to know if your Z80 is bad. It'll create an error. So if we go, let's just, yeah, so now we can use the jukebox. And you use left and right. Pick another address range for a different sound clip. So all that works really well now. So let's exit. C is exit. It's going to boot the game again. And I'm not sure how soon we can hit test. Okay. So, battery. Let's check the battery. We're going to set the calendar. I'm not really an expert. So we're at 10. Oops. Let's see how to change. Change A and B. 8, 9, 10. Today's what? October 19th. October 19th. Ooh, I wonder if this even... Yep, goes up to 24. And then we are... Oh, what time is it? It is 1:10 p.m. Let's see if this is in, yep, it's in military time. So 12 is 13, 1310, 1300, 10 hours. Just using the A and B to change the time there. 10, 11, okay, that's fine. And then let's just take this to 0. And we're going to go D, set. And I think that's it. Let's see, how do we go back? Okay. 10 to the date is, well, I wonder... It is not Saturday. It is actually Sunday here. Oh, I'm looking at my work computer. And it's set on US calendar. So let's change this again. We want to go 20. Ooh. Up and down. A up, B down. Now let's set that and see if that... There we go. 1,300 hours. 1,311. Sunday, October 20th, 2024. So let's power down. We're going to power down. Whoop. Oh, you know, I may have to exit that before it saves. We'll find out. So I'm going to leave it off here for a couple seconds. If that battery's not working, it's not going to hold up anything. Ooh, let's hold A, B, and C. Oh, A, B, and C. I missed it. So let's do that again. A, B, and C. And let's check the date. Oh, actually, we need to go into... Actually, while we're here, I want to show... Another good way to tell. Let's set our region. Let's set it for US and arcade mode. And then let's exit out of that. All right, and then we'll go into test. We'll go into the hardware test mode. Check that out. It saved. So it looks like our battery mod has worked. Looks like it's worked. All right. So let's exit. Let's actually run a hardware test. I think we use A to scroll, or what, start to scroll through the hardware test. And then now the sounds work if we go given a tone. I only have one channel hooked up to that, but let's go to the left channel. I'm not hearing anything, right? But if I change my channel here on my Oop, why is that? Oops. Uh-oh. My other channel is not outputting here or what? Yeah, my homemade adapter thing here is, I thought that, I just was on that yesterday and it was working. Let's go center. Right? No? Which one? Left. Ah, okay. Left is working. Okay. So we have sound there. Yeah, I made a little, this is for my JAMA harness. So my JAMA harness, I made it with a couple switch selectors so I can go between JAMA and Neo Geo with stereo sound and Neo Geo controls. So I have a switch up here. I take it one way for JAMA, and it really just changes, I think, one of the start and the tester service button, something like that, and the sound. But I made a switch separate for that. All right, let's continue on. There's no memory card. Don't need to reset that. That looks good. And let's exit out. How do we exit out? Oops. And then this is your input. Up, down, left, right. A, B, C, D. Start. Oh. Let's go back to that. Start player 2. Select. Test. Service. Coin 1. I have both of these set up coin 1. I think I run out of wires. Ran out of bandwidth. Oops. Start, obviously, is... And then... there we go. Start to and select. Neo Geo select. So that's good. All right. So let's continue. AB. I thought C here. Let's see. I think that's how you get out of it. I think you soft reset it there. Oh, A, B, and C. Whoa. Okay. So we're back into the Neo Geo. Yeah, everything is kind of saved. This is nice. It tells you what board you have. MV4F. We're going to power it down again. And let's populate the rest of this board. And I think we're going to wrap this up, guys. So let's populate this. Got a weird game here. Supapa. I say weird because I think it had the edge connectors are a little dirty and it don't always want to kick off. And Sonic. And then I bought some other games here in Thailand and they are not working well at all. This Double Dragon, this is actually Double Dragon fighter version. And it's not really working. It's like working half the time, if that. Alright, so let's boot up and see what we got. Uh-oh. Not happy with probably this guy. I'm reseating the cartridges. There we go. Let's see what we come up with. Let's see if it will do all four. If it does all four, we'll be lucky. I've been kind of fighting these, and not all of these are great at all. Alright, so back with the controller. So let's see what we got. We got Kabuki Clash. Yep, see it skipped over Zupapa. Oh, and it's actually going to do Double Dragon. That's funny. Double Dragon's actually a pretty cool game. It looks awesome. It has like some real-time cinema, converted cinema video at the beginning. I don't like fighting games, but this one actually looks pretty cool. The characters look awesome. Yeah, see, there's all those sprite issues are coming from the cartridge, bad connection between the cartridge and the board. So that's definitely not a PCB problem. Just FYI. So let's go select back. Now we're at. Let me see. Yeah, Double Dragon's actually playing, but this guy should. Let's reseat him and we get all 4. Yeah, I've cleaned them. I've done everything, but. Uh-oh. Not booting you up. See, I don't like. When it has a bad connection, if you have a bad cart in one of your slots, it will keep the whole set from booting. So before you freak out and think you have board problem, see, it's not even wanting to boot now with this cartridge in there. It's so temperamental. Nope, we're gonna pull him out. Oh, it's booting. Let's see what we get this time. All right, Kabuki Clash. Yeah, it's skipping the Zupapa. Goes right to aerial fighters. Huh. The Double Dragon is holding in there. We're gonna try one more time. At least we can get. I'm doing the Nintendo thing. See if that helps at all. Yeah, I'm gonna. I'll work on those cards separately. That's a different project. All right. So with the BIOS, it's gonna boot into the BIOS. Then it'll boot into your games. Okay, so let's get ready to scroll. Now we've got Zupapa. But I bet we lost Double Dragon. And this cartridge, I think, has some sound issues. There's some staticky. This is actually a pretty cool looking game too. Haven't really played it yet. Yeah, I hear the sound out of that thing is just crap. That's not the slot. Looks like a Smash Brothers kinda. Kind of like a Smash Brothers kind of game. And it looks great. Looks awesome. Sonic Wings 3. And Double Dragon. Nice. We got the whole lineup. Yeah, I got horror movies. It's Halloween. Happy Halloween, you guys. Almost. I got scary movies playing in the other room. Thai style horror today, which are Thai horror movies are actually pretty good. Yeah. So, okay. Let's, before we get out of here, let's look at the in-game. So, in-game with the Unibios, let's go back to that. We have several options. You can push start and select, start and coin, or start A, B, and C to bring up the in-game menu. So, let's push, let's go start and select. Let's go start and select. Uh-oh. Yeah, see those carts are glitchy. Those carts are glitchy. I guarantee it's not the board set, it's those carts. Yeah, you know what? I don't want any problems with this board set because it is working. So we're gonna take these two crap carts out. Okay, and we're just gonna let it go into the. We're gonna let it go into the game mode, in-game mode, the track screen. I'm gonna show you how to get into the in-game menu. Now wait for it to boot. Okay, now the game is booting. Start and select. There we go. So now you have your cheats, debug your cheat database for this, and here you can come in here and set up infinite time, 1-up plays, infinite energy, 2-player, different characters, different cheats. So let's exit out of that and let's look at the dip switch. So you could set you can set your dip switches here. You can do soft sets on your dip switches. But be careful, there's a warning. These settings can corrupt stored data. Use with care. So we're not going to mess with that. If you know your game and know your dip switch settings, you can change them here and save them. All right, and patch memory, I'm not quite sure what that is. The selected value will be patched to selected memory when patch is highlighted. Okay, so read write. If you wanna maybe add or minus something from a memory line, you can kind of do some editing here. So, and I'm not gonna mess with that. If you have a particular game and maybe there's a glitch or something like that you can fix here, or maybe add something or take something away. But that's pretty. And then you can soft reboot the system, and then you can exit. So yeah, so now we're gonna do Sonic Wing. Let's do Sonic Wings. So let's do a different one. Start and coin. Let's do start and coin. Oops. I did miss. Start and coin. Boop. Brings up your in-game menu. Let's look at the cheats for this game. 1-up play as Red Rabbit. So like in the different characters. Enable auto fire. That's a good one. Player 1. Infinite lives, invincibility, infinite bombs. You know, I figure with infinite coin ups, that's kind of my cheat. I just die a lot. Max weapon power ups, that's kind of cool. So yeah, it's built in. I think there's a database that says it in the README. I think all these games have their own cheats built in. You don't need to download or upgrade or do anything. If the game is in here and has cheats, boom, it's ready to use. So guys, I think that's going to wrap up this repairs. This is way too long. So we had bad traces underneath one of the Rams. We had trace repair and a bad Z80. We had cleanup. Oh, we recapped the sound section. And yeah, we extracted the old Z80, which is, I don't know, I think I already threw it away. Yeah, we took out the old Z80, put a socket, cleaned it up, cleaned everything. I think I reflowed some of the ICs on that bottom board, but I think that's where we're going to cut it here. I'm going to go through, I'm going to put all the spacers, very important, kind of to finalize. One thing I do want to show you, if you can see, I don't know how easy that board flexes. So that's why it's very important to have all the spacers in on this guy and all of the hardware put in correctly, because this thing does flex. When you push them down, it's a hard mate. So I'm gonna spin around here and tell you guys goodbye. I don't know if you guys can see me, but hey, thanks for watching this incredibly long Neo Geo video. But we did a lot of work. I took a lot of film, so. And thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel and what we're doing. I hope this helps you. And we'll see you next time. From beautiful Thailand.